Today, I have 69 totally useless facts about the world that will probably just take up unnecessary space in your brain. Let's go. The two only countries with rectangular flags are Switzerland and Vatican City. Vatican City is so small you could fit 38 million Vatican cities inside Russia, and if you removed one Vatican City from Russia every second, it would take 439 days, 19 hours, 33 minutes and 20 seconds for it to disappear. Speaking of size, Monaco could fit inside Central Park. 16 countries in the world start and end with the same letter. 13 capital cities also start and end with the same letter. There's 2 countries where both the country and capital start and end with the same letter. San Marino is the oldest republic in the world. The Austrian village Fugging was originally called Fucking until they changed the name in 2021. The original name had been in place since around 1070. Don't ask why, but there's a village in France called Y, making it one of the shortest place names in the world, along with places like O in Norway. Denmark has the oldest flag in the world, dating back to 1625. Speaking of flags, Libya had an all-green flag from 1977 to 2011 and was the only single-colored flag in the world. If we take the 3 first letters of Sweden and Denmark, it would make Sweden. If we take the remaining letters, it would make Denmark. Iceland has no mosquitoes. They also have an app to help people avoid dating their cousins because of their small population. Finland has more saunas than cars. Sweden has the most islands in the world, with 1 island for every 40 people. In Norway, there's a city called Hell, and Hell literally freezes in winter. There is actually only one country separating Norway and North Korea. That's, of course, Russia. The northernmost city in the world is Longyearbyen on Svalbard, and the southernmost city is Ushuaia in Argentina. The distance between the cities is 15,775 kilometers and would take around 20 hours in a plane. That's 5,421 kilometers shorter than the Chinese Wall, at an impressive 21,196 kilometers if we include overlapping sections that were rebuilt. If you mix up the letters of the old capital of Japan, Kyoto, it turns into the current capital, Tokyo. Bangkok's real name is actually incredibly long. It has a ceremonial name with over 150 letters, making it the longest place name in the world. The capital of Kazakhstan, Astana, literally means capital city. Mongolia is the largest country in the world without a coastline. The country in the world with most international tripoints is China with 16. In Australia, there's a pink lake. They also have more kangaroos than humans living there. Australia is also the home of the longest fence in the world, the Dingo Fence, spanning 5,614 kilometers. If you move north, you would eventually move south. But if you move east, you will never move west, no matter how far you go. You could theoretically walk from Spain to New York. If you move through Europe and Russia, sometimes during the winter, parts of the Bering Strait between Russia and Alaska freeze over. That way you could cross between Russia and Alaska by foot before you move further through Canada and down to New York. In 2012, a South Korean team actually crossed the Bering Strait from Russia to Alaska on foot in only 6 days. Let's stay in this area a little longer. More specifically, these 2 islands. The island you see on the left side is in Russia, and the one on the right side is in the United States. They are only 4 kilometers apart, yet 21 hours in time difference. That means if it's Friday on the left side, it's Saturday on the right side. If Alaska was a country, it would be the 18th largest country in the world. USA bought Alaska from Russia for only $7.2 million in 1867. More people live inside this red area than outside it, even though it doesn't look like it on the map. Greenland is exactly double the size of Bolivia. Chile and Zambia are equally large in land area. The south of Portugal, known as Algarve, is basically just a miniature of Portugal. Can you guess one flag in the world that doesn't contain red, white, or blue? Jamaica is the only right answer. Sudan has more pyramids than Egypt. Nigeria is home to the largest film industry in Africa, known as Nollywood, producing more than 1,000 movies every year, making it bigger than Hollywood. Ethiopia is the only African country never to have been colonized, except for a brief Italian occupation during World War II. The tree of Tenere in Niger was once considered the most isolated tree in the world. with over 400 kilometers to the next tree. That was until a drunk driver accidentally knocked it down in 1973. Mozambique's flag features an AK-47, the only flag in the world to show a modern weapon. The two capital cities closest to each other are Kinshasa and Brazzaville, only 7.2 kilometers apart. The lowest point of Lesotho is 1,400 meters above sea level. Kiribati is the only country located in all hemispheres. This map shows the places Johnny Cash claims to have visited in his song "I've Been Everywhere." Canada has a place called Dildo, and it even has a Dildo Days festival. You can fit the entire population of the world into the state of Texas, and each person would still have around 100 square meters of space. There's a lake on an island, in a lake on an island, in a lake in Canada. Ecuador, located at the equator line, literally means equator in Spanish. Canada has more lakes than there are people living in Bhutan. The shortest international flight is between two cities in Switzerland and Germany. The flight lasts just 8 minutes. The longest place name in Europe is a Welsh village called this. There's a bridge in Scotland known as the Dog Suicide Bridge, where dozens of dogs have mysteriously jumped to their deaths since the 1950s. Bouvet Island is the most isolated island on Earth, with over 2,200 kilometers to the nearest humans. That means if you were stranded on Bouvet Island, the people on International Space Station is closer to civilization than you. The citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines eat the most chicken per capita in the world, with 98 kilograms per person. And finally, I have removed one country from this map. Can you spot which? Write your answer in the comments below.